Hi, and welcome back to Tech Academy. My name is Adam Lavergne. Today we're going to look at advanced order fulfillment within techOMS. Let's give just a few moments for others to connect. All right, let's start. Today we're going to dive into how techOMS manages efficiencies and order fulfillment strategies, such as multi-channel order management and split shipments. Walking through, first off, multi-channel order management. As we've talked about in the past, techOMS has the ability to sync to multiple sales channels. So you can see here in my demo environment, we have a number of sales channels connected to techOMS. And each of these sales channels would represent a website, a marketplace, etc. So within techOMS, if you're a fulfiller, you have multiple customers or brands connected to you. This would represent your customer brand. If you're a retailer, this would represent the different channels, marketplaces, etc. you connect to. When those orders come into techOMS, as we've walked through before, you can see the channel that they come in through the channel field. So again, under advanced settings, you can go to sales channel and you can look at orders through various sales channels. By and large, what we're doing is Shopify for a lot of our demo environment testing. You'll see Shopify is very heavily populated, whereas the other ones not so much. All right, so when we talk about multi-channel order management, and we'll get into split shipments, the first thing we want to talk about is a recently released feature, which is automation of backorder management. The automation of backorder management, first and foremost, needs to be enabled within your advanced settings. Under fulfillment channel advanced settings, we have backorder mode. And you're able to define whether backorders are managed in techOMS, which is the default, or if they're managed in the fulfillment channel. The difference being, if they're managed in the fulfillment channel, natively techOMS does not validate inventory when it allocates orders and sends the orders to the fulfillment channel. There's ways around that. If you're using a function enough stock, it will look at inventory levels and make inventory routing decisions, regardless of the backorder mode. However, if backorder mode is set at the fulfillment channel and you in fact have a backorder, you're going to have to manually fulfill that with techOMS. In order to automate that, make sure you select Manage Backorders in techOMS. And then what that's going to do is that's going to automatically trigger backorders. You can see here, I have a status view backordered. Any order that cannot be fulfilled in its entirety, we define that as the quantity ordered is greater than the quantity allocated. techOMS is going to flag that as a backorder. Typically, it means you don't have the inventory to fulfill this. Not only is techOMS going to flag this as a backorder, but techOMS is going to automatically fulfill this upon positive inventory receipt. So test SKU1, once test SKU1 is received, positive inventory adjustment, techOMS will go through the list of backorders and will automatically fulfill or allocate and fulfill outstanding orders with test SKU1. It's going to follow FIFO logic, first in, first out logic, and we'll automate the backorder. If you have a multi-line order, let's see if I have any here. Just check quickly. No, these are all single line orders, but if I had a multi-line order, the same thing would happen. Default backorder mode without enabling split shipments. If I had 2 lines on this order and 1 line was not fulfillable due to lack of inventory, the entirety of the order will be backordered. Regardless if one of the lines has stock to fulfill, both lines will be backordered. And that's in the backorder management. You're probably thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. I'd like to fulfill the line that I have available today and backorder the remaining line. And well, we can do that. Under our sales order rules, we have the ability to define split shipments. The first thing we do is we calculate enough stock at locations, define the locations you want to use from a stock calculation perspective. And then the action, you can see here under add, the action is split shipments action. We're going to calculate stock select the warehouse using only enough stock. This one is being selected by warehouse priority. In the event that the order can be fulfilled from a single warehouse, techOMS will always fulfill from a single warehouse. However, if the order cannot be fulfilled by a single location, now's where we're going to split that order. And this is where, as a fulfiller or as a customer, you can come in here and you can define the max number of splits. So again, from an economics perspective, I would not recommend 10 splits. Myself, I like 2 max. It gets very costly. And then you're also able to prioritize shipments based on count of orders or order value. So the back-end logic to split shipments, maximum number of shipments being 2, the allocation requires 50% or more of either count of items or the total value, depending on which you select. Let's stick with count of items. 50% or more of the count of items have to be available in a single location to trigger the first shipment. The balance then becomes the second shipment. Now, in this environment, we've created that split shipment rule, and you can see here in this test order, the order has 2 lines, a quantity of 2 on the first line, quantity of 1 on the second, and you can see that it was fulfilled as 2 separate shipments. So again, techOMS split this based off of availability. If this second line was not available, techOMS would have created a single shipment for the first line and would have put this order into a backorder status for the second line. Meaning, within the order framework, techOMS would attempt to fulfill what's available today, and then what's not available today will put into the backorder mode. Within the backorder mode, it'll put it to automated backorders. That when that second line is received, it's automatically fulfilled. So again, from your order rule, you can create that rule for split shipment. Now, split shipment can also work in conjunction with order writing rules. For example, you're running time in transit. You're calculating time in transit, validating that you have sufficient stock. If you do not have sufficient stock, you can run that split shipment. So again, it'll take that order and it'll split the order based off of who's able to fulfill it. And the priority is maximum fulfillment percentage. If the stock is available, you go down your typical time in transit pathway. To enable backorder automation and backorder management, you start that by, again, fulfillment channel, advanced settings, making sure your backorder mode is set to techOMS. This will enable that automated backorder flow. Split shipments requires an order rule. At minimum, pull up my split shipment rule. You define stock, define your warehouses, and then you calculate and define that split action. The key here is define the max number of shipments. When you enable this rule will run in the background, always on this account. It's account driven, so each account can have separate rules and what have you. What's nice is it's based off of a trigger. In this case here, allocate and fulfill means that it will only split when you're processing orders manually. In a real world setting, you'd probably drive the trigger based off of the order create API call, aka automated system workflow. So the order comes from Shopify, it hits this rule. Is there sufficient stock across your fulfilling nodes to fulfill this order as a singular entity? If yes, great. How do we select? So again, select warehouse could be priority, shortest time, lowest cost. When you can combine a techOMS with TechShip to do time in transit routing. If not, if there is not sufficient stock, then we split that. Like I said, we saw the split order. Let me come back and find my split order here. So you can see 2 separate lines. techOMS created 2 separate shipments to 2 separate warehouses. And same with the backorder management. You're able to see the backorder under show only. You'll see the backorders. And there's a list of backorders here. Again, these backorders will be populated and processed based off of positive receipt of inventory. All right, let's turn it over to questions. Can we still automate back orders and backorder management if backorder management is set to the fulfillment channel? Great question. While you can still manage back orders manually, if backorder mode is set to the fulfillment channel, it will not be an automated process. In order for backorder management to be automated, it must be set to manage within techOMS. Okay, next question. Can split orders still operate if the backorder mode is set to WMS? Great question. The answer here is a positive yes. Like I mentioned, even when backorder management is set to manage in the fulfillment channel and the WMS, by default, techOMS does not pay attention to inventory. However, when you calculate enough stock, you're actually using inventory logic and inventory algorithms to do your routing and your processing. That tricks the backorder mode to be inventory aware and use inventory in part of those decisions. You can use your split shipments with the backorder mode managed in techOMS. The only thing that's not going to operate here under your split shipments, you're not going to have the automated backorder. For example, when techOMS looks at fulfilling those orders and it says, okay, in this order example, we have two lines. Line 1 can be fulfilled right now. Line 2 lacks stock, and it becomes an automated backorder. In the case of backorder is being managed at the WMS, that automation in that backorder doesn't happen. What's going to happen in techOMS is you'll fulfill the first line, it will create the shipment and send the shipment to the warehouse, but that second line will not be created. You'll have to manually stick handle that one. Okay. Any other questions from the group? All right. It was short and sweet today. Appreciate your time. And we'll tune in next month as we look at more features within techOMS. Cheers.